Every day, United Way of Greater Nashville brings our community together so every child, individual, and family in Middle Tennessee can thrive. Right now, 1.2 million Tennessee households are working hard, but still struggling to make ends meet. Nearly half of Davidson County families and a third in Williamson County live below the ALICE threshold. That's asset limited, income constrained, and employed. But did you know that last year alone, United Way partners helped meet nearly 500,000 basic needs across Middle Tennessee? That means thousands of Davidson County students started school with supplies this fall. And kids in Williamson County get free books each month, all thanks to the United Way and its supporters. Your workplace can be a part of supporting the United Way's vital work today, because when employees give together, morale grows, businesses thrive, and Greater Nashville becomes stronger. Learn how your workplace can help at unitedwaygreaternashville.org/workplace-campaigns. Together, we're lifting up Middle Tennessee, meeting needs today and building stronger communities for tomorrow. You're getting married, not managing an event team. At Simply Eloped, your dedicated planner takes care of every single detail so you don't have to. They have helped over 14,000 couples say I do across 37 epic U.S. locations, with all-inclusive packages and top-tier vendors. From snowy mountaintops to sandy beaches at sunset, every wedding is customized, no two are alike. Start your big day at simplyeloped.com. Today on CityCast Nashville, we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Edible Nashville, the local food magazine known for its farm dinners, chef stories, seasonal recipes, and guides for every foodie in town. And with Thanksgiving just 1 week away, who better to share her best Thanksgiving Day recipes than founder Jill Melton? She's got something for everyone. It's Thursday, November 20th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Jill, welcome to CityCast Nashville. I have to fangirl hard right now because I love your magazine so much. Throughout the years, it has kept me company whenever I go to restaurants and they have it in the corner and I can just pick it up and have a meal by myself and enjoy your magazine.
Oh my God, nobody's ever said that exactly.
It's like my date night. I love it. Just me and your magazine.
I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that it can feel like a friend because that's exactly how I write it.
Oh.
To feel like a friend or a sister or to be giving you information in a fun way, honest. You know, we're all about honesty and just being real.
Well, let's get real then. Thanksgiving. Do you love it or hate it?
A little bit of both. I love it because I'm with my family. I hate it because of what I have to do, which is make turkey, make some of the classic sides that the kids want to have when all I want to do is make a leg of lamb and all sorts of weird, interesting things or duck and sometimes I'll make that with the turkey too. But I will say it does have a new excitement for me because my new son-in-law loves to cook. And so my daughter could care less about it. So really Quentin and I get in the kitchen and he's such a great student and he's so into it. He already said to me, we got to start working on the menu. What are we going to do? He actually said, do you think we should fry a turkey this year? And I was like, not sure we're ready for that.
You know, I love to hear this because when I think of Thanksgiving, I get a little upset because in my traditional family experiences, it always seems like the holidays fall on the women in the family. So what I'd like to ask you, what dishes should men be in charge of this year? And any ideas how to share the responsibilities equally?
Well, I think men should be in charge of any and all of them. I mean, for me, since cooking is my jam, if somebody's going to do the dishes, I'm perfectly happy for whoever doesn't cook to do the dishes. But like I said, I do find my son-in-law is way more into cooking than my daughter, and he's really a much better student. So I'd like to think that men are just like to cook more in general now than kind of the old norms. But I'll tell you what else is good is if a man can make a good cocktail while you're cooking.
Ooh. Ooh, now we're talking.
That's important.
I was looking at your cocktail guide in your magazine. Can you recommend a classic Thanksgiving cocktail?
Oh my gosh. Well, we've become whiskey people because we do these farm dinners and we have all sorts of different whiskey partners. And so I've kind of ruined my son and my son-in-law because they really do love whiskey now. So I would say a whiskey drink feels Thanksgiving-ish to me. And I would probably lean towards some whiskey and maybe a little apple cider, in there instead of a simple syrup, because that's going to give you some sweet and maybe a little lime. Throw a cinnamon stick in there and probably drink that all day.
That's right. While you're cooking, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Well, let's zero in on Nashville specifically. What do you think makes a Nashville Thanksgiving unique? And please don't tell me that people are serving Nashville hot turkey.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm sure somebody is somewhere. Although that's kind of scary just because it's such a big bird. And
right. Ew.
Somebody, yeah.
No, thank you.
First off, as I'm going to say, because I live at the farmer's market and seasonality informs everything that we do, that's what I do for a Thanksgiving meal. So my menu is super Nashville simply because of what I'm buying and using the ingredients that are here, which is going to be squash and all sorts of greens, celery. A lot of the farmers have had fresh celery that goes in your dressing. It's a game changer from supermarket celery. Kale, mustard, arugula, cabbage, leeks, turnips, all of these things, and sweet potatoes. And there's so many different kinds now. So even if you have your mama's recipe, if you use sweet potatoes that you got from the farmer's market, it's going to taste a little bit different. And it's kind of a way to keep that tradition, but bring it up to date a little bit just by using some of these ingredients that are very specific to Middle Tennessee.
So what's your Thanksgiving prep timeline? When do you shop, prep, and cook?
So I probably shop a lot the weekend before because the year-round farmers markets, whether you go downtown or you go to Richland Park, which is year-round, it's on the weekend. Thanksgiving is Thursday, so it's not like you're waiting an entire week. So I probably get all of my stuff then. One quick note about turkeys. I have done the heirloom turkey route, which you can do, and there are
How much is an heirloom turkey?
Okay, they're not cheap. But I will just tell you right off the bat, the heirloom turkeys are not as plump and juicy as a supermarket turkey. And I have had some really delicious heirloom turkeys, but in general, if you buy a supermarket turkey, it's perfectly fine. And if you do a roast chicken, that's fine too. If you're not serving, if you're not serving 15 or you're not even serving 8 and it's just like 2 or 3 of you, we have recipes using turkey breast, which is one thing, but you can roast a chicken and it's really the same thing as roasting a turkey. But anyway, so I probably might already have my turkey. I get all of my produce the weekend before. And probably what I start doing like on Monday is desserts.
Oh, okay.
Because desserts is where they're more time consuming if you're making pies. Because Thanksgiving, well, I always make homemade pie pastry because it's what I do and it makes a big difference. But I'm not shaming anyone if you buy the Pillsbury pie crust in the store. It's okay.
Mom, it's okay. She's listening.
Yeah, it's all right. But I make my pie pastry and then I make my pies because, the pies for the most part, they're either refrigerated or they're sitting there. And I make my pumpkin pie from fresh pumpkin. So I'm probably going to make my pumpkin pie. I might make the crust on Monday. I might fill it on Tuesday and I stick it in the fridge till Thursday. And I usually make 3 different pies. I usually make a pecan pie, which again, you can have done on Tuesday, a pumpkin pie, and then I like something cold after Thanksgiving dinner. So I always make something like a coconut cream or a chocolate cream. I just want something cold. But you can do all of the pie pastries. You can frequently do all the pies and kind of knock those out. And if you're making a cake, same thing. So that's when I would do that. And then probably getting closer to the day, I would do stuff that can be refrigerated, or we have some great sides that you can make ahead and actually get better with time. We have a cauliflower salad with sherry vinaigrette. And it actually is better to make on Wednesday if you're eating like Thursday at dinner time or noon or whatever, because the cauliflower is not cooked, right? So it's a raw kind of salad. And we always want to have something fresh next to the dressing and all that kind of stuff. And this is also a great way to bring in other flavors, right? So we also have like a fiesta cauliflower that is raw cauliflower, but uses some peppers and some lime and some cilantro. And it gets better too. So you can knock those out, have them in the fridge, and then pull them out. And you don't have to make cranberry sauce. If you like cranberry sauce, great. I've actually served canned cranberry sauce.
It's my favorite dish, the canned cranberry sauce.
It gives you the cold, fruity, kind of refreshing thing that you need, again, to break up all the stuff. The other thing about sides and in Nashville is like we have so many mustard greens, kale, collard greens, and they hold up really well, right? So if you're cooking spinach, it's going to wilt. But those greens, you can put them on the stove and they can be braising on the back eye of the stove for like an hour while you're doing other things. I make a traditional bread dressing. I'm from Ohio. My son-in-law makes the cornbread dressing. So we always have both. Again, I would like to make a weird dressing with oysters in it and all sorts of herbs and stuff, which I have done, but I have to make the regular bread dressing. And you know what I do with that to kind of zhuzh it a little bit? First off, I'll use a really good bread, right? So I'll get, bread is everywhere. You could produce place, turnip truck, you can get local bread anywhere. Just get a baguette or whatever, because it's going to hold up better. And you cut it up and you toast it just for a little bit to get them not super hard like croutons. Don't use croutons, but to just get it a little bit toasty. And then I combine it with, I usually have fresh sage and parsley still in my garden because those things will last until December. So I put those in there, and then I put the celery again. If you can get celery at the farmer's market, it's a game changer. You put your eggs and your chicken stock, and then I put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in it.
Ooh, you naughty girl.
And it just gives it a little, and I don't use the raisins that my mom used. I don't like that in my dressing.
My mom snuck in oysters one year, and she has still never heard the end of it. We were children. We were like, what is this mushy thing in our dressing?
Yeah,
it was bad.
My kids have been through it all. I've made duck. I've made Cornish hen. I've had goose.
Ooh.
I kind of try to get my weird things sometimes in the sides.
Guess what? CityCast has some news. I'm Sean McPherson, the host of CityCast Twin Cities.
And I'm Jane C. Hu, and I'm the host of CityCast Seattle. Hey, if you have a friend in one of our cities, can you text them for us?
Yeah, something, simple like, hey, how's that rash doing? And do you listen to podcasts? Because I have one you're definitely going to like. After that, tell them that CityCast has helped you become more informed, more involved, and more connected to your amazing city.
We're going to help that person you know in Seattle who's been trying to make friends.
And we're also going to do that for that guy you only kind of knew in college who moved back to the Twin Cities after graduation.
Don't we all have that guy?
Yeah, and usually that guy is named Todd.
So did you text him yet?
Jane, let's just wait a minute. We don't want to rush anybody. We'll do a little small talk. How's everything going in Seattle?
Beautiful, beautiful. Fall leaves popping. How about Twin Cities?
Today, beautiful and sunshiny in St. Paul. Okay, Jane, I bet they are done texting by now, and I just want to remind them, hey, you, please tell that friend to subscribe to CityCast Twin Cities or Seattle, wherever you get your podcasts.
Or if you don't want to text them and you're really just on Instagram sending them DMs all the time with like funny videos, send them a DM of our latest videos. You can find us at CityCast Twin Cities or CityCast Seattle on Instagram. Thanks.
What would be the essential Thanksgiving dish that you could not skip here in Nashville?
Well, the dressing I would say is one. And mainly why? Because you hear all of these things about never stuff the turkey. It's all because you need to do it safely. It's not that you can't stuff a turkey. It's just all the things that people would do wrong by leaving it out on the counter too long or not cooking the turkey long enough and all of this kind of stuff. Dressing is the best when you stuff it. So I always make some in a pan to have a lot. But to me, I always actually what we do now is we put the cornbread dressing in the back end and we put the bread dressing in the front end of the turkey. And it's kind of like salad wise, sidewise. You could do whatever, but that's kind of a must, I would say.
That is a great tip. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think you could put it in the front. The front
because those drippings, that's the whole thing. The drippings from the bird get down in there. And then if you are basting it with something, like sometimes I'll do apple cider and butter. If you baste it with that kind of gets into it as well. And then you get all those crunchy parts. But really what you have to do is stand at the stove and eat it. Eat the crunchy parts first.
Yes, I love that.
And it tastes the best.
Well, you brought up pies earlier, but is there any perfect pie specifically to Nashville? Obviously, Florida has key lime pies. And what do we have?
Well, I still think we have a sorghum bourbon pecan pie. I'm not a chocolate with my pecan pie. I don't like to mix those. I want to do a chocolate cream, but I want to do a pecan. And that is really sorghum in general, which is very Nashville-like. A lot of the farms do it and you can find it.
What is sorghum?
Well, sorghum is grown and actually it almost looks like wheat for the most part. And you harvest it. And there used to be a farm in Middle Tennessee they have a sorghum festival. And theirs was mainly like 10 years ago, the sorghum that you could find. But there's a lot of other farms doing it, like Green Door Gourmet. They do their own sorghum. And it's not like maple syrup because you're not tapping a tree, but you still have to cook the sorghum down and it's a whole thing. But it's really like molasses.
Gotcha.
It's interchangeable with molasses. It's a little more tangy, but I use sorghum in a lot of things. I'll even baste a turkey with sorghum. But to put it in a pecan pie, and then, of course, very Nashville is bourbon. So chess pie is very Southern in general. Buttermilk chess pie, I think, is a delicious thing for Thanksgiving. But if you think of a dark chess pie, but with a lot of molasses in it, that's what a shoe fly pie is. But then with fresh whipped cream, okay, that's another one of my buggy boos. Whipping fresh cream to me is something so fun. And we did Thanksgiving at my daughter's house last year. She actually does not have a mixer. So I just got my son, I just put the cold cream in the cold metal bowl and gave him the whisk. And he just went to town on it. And then he would swap off with one of his friends that happened to be there. And so there you go. That's a way to involve men.
Oh, right there you go.
Have them whip the cream. And then you can put like a little bit of alcohol in there too, whatever you kind of feel like. You could do some bourbon whipped cream. But that is going to bring any pie, even if you buy a pecan pie at the store, that is just going to bring that up to heaven with that fresh whipped cream in there.
How can we put the children to work?
Oh, so many ways for the kids. If you're making rolls or doing bread or doing anything like that, they can help you cut things. They can help toss a salad. They can do, the other thing is when you're cooking your pumpkin, take the seeds out and roast the seeds. And maybe you've already done that, right? So you have the pumpkin seeds and you can get them to work on the pumpkin seeds. You give them a bowl with the pumpkin seeds, some olive oil, some spices, and have them use their hands and toss it up and then have those roasting. You can do that first thing in the morning and then they'll play with the pumpkin seeds all day long.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Pie crust, but pie crust is good too. Because you don't have a sharp object. So you would roll out your pie crust with the rolling pin. Love that. Putting it in the plate and then crimping the edges, And I mean, face it, food does not have to be perfect. So any way that it looks is good. Oh, the other thing, okay, setting the table. We do these farm dinners, so we're all about bringing the outdoors in and having seasonal tables. Of course, pumpkins are a no-brainer, but having the kids take the little apples that you can find at the farmer's market and frequently on your neighbor's tree or whatever, and doing little place cards for everybody and putting them down, that's like a great thing for kids to do. They have a lot of fun with that.
All right. So what if you hate turkey? What else are you going to serve? Or maybe you have somebody who's vegan or vegetarian or gluten-free. I have so many friends who are gluten-free. Bless them. But
Well,
I love a stuffing.
The gluten-free is really not that hard because there are so many flour blends that are already gluten-free. And gluten-free stuff is absolutely delicious because nut flours, like you'll use almond flour in place of wheat flour. And I mean, a nut flour. Oh God, what's not to like about some almond flour? It just makes everything delicious. So that to me, and, we have a boatload of recipes for gluten-free things. I would say a side of salmon is probably what I would do. And sometimes we've actually had salmon and turkey because you can get the side of salmon that's going to feed like 8 people. And it's, you kind of put it on your roasting pan and then you can put fun butters on it. And it really does well with all of the fall flavors too, like the sorghum or the maple syrup, leaning into things like that and any kind of fresh herbs, but keep it kind of simple.
Oh, that's great. Great suggestion.
Would do there. Yeah, because it's easy.
Well, let's talk about Friendsgiving. That's a thing that we're all doing these days. Can you recommend a favorite local spot for that?
There are so many awesome things happening. I would say one thing is, I'll do a shameless plug for ourselves, is if you follow our Instagram, is when I love all of the exciting pop-ups that happen around town. And a lot of them, you find out 3 weeks ahead of time. And so the best way to find out about all that stuff going on is to kind of follow us on Instagram, I would say.
Well, I'll tell you, once a month now, my friends and I pick up SS Guy that's over here in East Nashville. And you can get, I think it's only $35 for their full chicken, and it feeds 6 of us.
Oh, yes, totally. And a lot of the restaurants are doing takeout stuff and super cool stuff. Over in the Nation's Tin Wings, Leanne is a fabulous cook, and she does a great menu going all the way up for things and some other not expected things too. She's in the Nations. I know Blue Aster is doing a phenomenal Thanksgiving menu where you can take it out. And you know what else? I love the chicken dinner at Little Ray, which is on West End. And that is one of their smoked chickens. And of course, it has beans and rice, but that's really almost the same thing as our Thanksgiving dinner for the most part. And that to me is a slam dunk. I love that. Martin's Barbecue, he does some great stuff. His smoked turkey is great. His regular turkey is great. And I think that's a great way to kind of pick something up, whether you're going to make the sides or not, but to kind of take that lift off of you.
We've done Monell's in the past. That's been the easiest thing. You just pick it up the day before and then you have it. And then they have really thorough instructions on how to heat everything up. And then you could just lie and say you made it.
Totally. If you go to the Picnic, which is the kind of ladies' cafe in Belmead that moved down a little bit further. Oh my gosh, she does some awesome Thanksgiving stuff. And you walk in and they have the whole case there that you can take, like squash casseroles and stuff like that. And also if you go to the local markets like the Produce Place and Smokin' Oaks and some of these, we have a whole list of all the local markets. They carry that stuff. So you're going to find locally made things that you can pick up. I mean, who doesn't love a honey baked ham? But even if you got a honey baked ham, you can get sides more locally from a lot of these kind of other places. And by exploring those markets, you're going to find some really cool, interesting things to go with it for sure.
Well, one thing you do very, very well at your magazine is you do all the work. You go in, you research, you talk to all the locals. I just want to shout out, y'all just celebrated your 10th anniversary. So congratulations. Folks out there, listeners, when you see Edible Nashville out there, you'll see the Nashville scene and then you'll see Edible Nashville. Pick it up. It's totally worth it. It's a cookbook, essentially. It's
thank you so much. That's what makes me get up every day and do it, just to hear that.
Oh, well, thank you.
From people like you. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Well, I could talk to you for hours, it seems, but we've run out of time. But Jill, thank you again for joining us. This has got us all so excited for Thanksgiving, the traditional and non-traditional ways of celebrating. So thank you.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you. I could talk about food all day.
Me too.
So happy to do it.
Thank you. That's all all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!